For several months, we've been talking about how AI is moving on this exponential curve. Now we started to see that this exponential curve start to change direction. So in 2025, it was feeling going up, but kind of steady and flat. 2026, we start immediately to see a kind of change of direction, okay, kind of acceleration in going up. Now we are just a few months in, and we saw the amount of things that happened this year are incredible. Plus, just now, came out this Mithos. Okay, it actually didn't even come out. They just said, "Look, this AI is so powerful that we can't give it to the normal people. We need to check it. We are gonna give it to our basically friends, our corporation, this massive company, to check their security." Which I'm not saying that is a wrong thing to do. Okay, it's good to check the security because the security of them also means the security of millions of people. So it makes sense to do this. But there is other companies that are smaller, maybe in different countries, that are gonna remain vulnerable. That is the problem that we are facing. Now, there is also another problem. Then the stock market doesn't like this kind of reality. Okay, if you have an AI that can hack basically everything, and that is a really high risk for whatever company. Now, also there's another aspect that is the one of a government. From the government point of view, first of all, there's a private company that now has access through hacking to whatever government secret. Now, it's not so direct, okay, but it's not even that far away. The fact that this AI, this Mithos, can find Mithos, that's the phone, that can find vulnerability inside a system, that through the vulnerability you can get inside the system and then start hacking, injecting information, and so on. So the danger is real. Now, what do we do? Okay, because at the end, okay, this is the mess. Hopefully, I don't know. Actually, it's so complicated because you can see the government should nationalize such a technology. Should be, it's so dangerous. Like Anthropic is saying that this cannot be given to the public, therefore can be held by a single corporation. So it's how do we deal with this new reality? And now let's remember this thing that we always saw that the open source, they are a few months behind. So this thing means, okay, now Anthropic has it. Now in a few months, we are gonna have Google building their own version, OpenAI building their own version, XAI building their own version, and so on. Okay, the next, let's say 3, 5, 6 months maximum. Then they're gonna be the open source. So this is gonna get ugly, okay? This is gonna get really ugly. Because how we deal with this, with a world where instability becomes the norm, that you cannot trust almost anything anymore. Everything can be hacked, everything is vulnerable, everything, is unstable because of this reason. So what's the future of stock market is? Nobody knows. As soon as going to be an incident, we will see the panic. Okay, at the moment, everybody is really careful. Hopefully, it's going to be dealt with, the right way. But remember, this is the exponential curve. Now we have this, then we are going to have something more, and then something more, and then something more. Okay, this problem is not easy to resolve. There are solutions. I'm just gonna tell one. Okay, I'm gonna throw this. Okay, if you tokenize this and use the Bitcoin technology, then you're safe. And for those that talk about the quantum attack that can be done on encryption, because this voice of with quantum computing we can decrypt Bitcoin and hack it. Okay, if you can hack Bitcoin, you're gonna hack every single bank. Okay, every single banks in this world are less secure than Bitcoin. Every single government in this world are less secure than Bitcoin technology. Think about this, okay? So then Bitcoin is the least of the problem. But nevertheless, on Bitcoin, there is a solution. It's a quantum resistant key. So it's possible to protect Bitcoin. It's not possible to protect banks. So if the banks, if the stock market move on Bitcoin technology, at least, okay, this decentralized tokenized technology, at least we have security of that aspect, okay, of ownership. But the risk is also the fact that a company is now under risk because it's vulnerable. Okay, that is a kind of a different kind of risk. So that is where we are at the moment. So if you're an investor, just I don't know, think about this. But what about us? Okay, as an individual, okay, what shall I do? What does it mean for me? What does it mean for me in everyday life? So let's understand one thing. Okay, at the moment, most of us, through a way or another, we are sharing our data with those corporations. Okay, and it didn't matter how much effort I put. I remember during the COVID, trying to convince my coworker, my friends, everybody, okay, to use Signal instead of WhatsApp. Okay, WhatsApp, every single message you send goes get decrypted inside the meta server and get read. Okay, they become part of their knowledge. This is how they train AI. This is how they advertise you. This is how they get to know you better. Okay, everything there. Signal peer-to-peer. My message get encrypted inside my mobile phone, can send it to you, and you are the only one that have the key to encrypt it. Okay, that is total security. There's no way. Doesn't go to a server where there is possible to encrypt it. There's no way. Only your phone can encrypt my message. Okay, that is maximum security. Because of convenience, people didn't manage to do this. Okay, the convenience of having WhatsApp means I don't care, read everything about my life, all about my secret, get access to all my photos, doesn't matter. Okay, it's so convenient. So as long as we have that mentality, there's nothing we can do. Having this in mind, there's nothing we can do. If convenience is your goal and you say, yeah, but I have nothing to hide. Let's talk about this. I have nothing to hide. So first of all, it's not just about you, okay? It's a world. There is, at the moment, you have nothing to hide until you have something to hide, okay? As long as your government is on your side and that company is on your side, which they are, both of them are usually are not, but let's say that are close enough, then you feel like I have nothing to hide. Then you need to do a protest. Then you start to have, yeah, I can lose my job. I have something to hide. Okay, so start think about this. But then it's not about you. The privacy is for the people that actually are activists in making this world a better place. So for them, we should get away from those corporate that control us. But again, what shall I do now today to protect myself? So first of all, is an attitude, and second is a journey. Okay, so change your attitude towards this. Okay, understand that there is a change that you need to do. If you don't want to change, there's nothing you can do. If you want to change, if you're willing to take some steps, then I'm going to tell you what are those steps, because there are a lot of things to do. Understand one thing: don't share your memory with those corporations. Your memory is your data. Okay, that data, when you work with AI, should be local. If it's not local, there is a problem. Okay, this is two things. One, they know you, they read about you, they understand your history, your decision, but not just that, because now you interact with AI, so now they can know how you think. Okay, so it's not just about who you are, but also how you think. This is another level, okay? Through social network, they were learning about us, okay? Profiling. And profiling basically our story, our behavior, our journey, and so on. And from that profiling, they could extract some elements of how we think. But now, because we interact with AI, the interaction is in real time. Therefore, it's really clear how we think. Okay, our thinking process becomes so obvious. But not just because we started, because through this in triangulating with our memory, then it's possible to understand our behavior, our values, our applied values, our dream wishes, all connection that we have with friends and so on, what we think about them and so on. So all of this become evident and can be used, not like against you, can be used to manipulate you from advertisement. Okay, they give you the right advertisement the right way. Meta already works in a way that can, through AI, can generate advertisement custom for specific group of people. So you want to advertise this pen, and then AI will find a way to present it in the correct way to the right audience. That is the beginning. Think about when they know exactly how you think, when they have one single AI dedicated for each one of us, an expert about us. That is the dangerous. So what we need to do is to take things away from that machine. Okay, memory first, local. We need to use systems that allow us to have our memory local. Second step, running open source AI. Okay, so not those corporation AI, but open source version. Through the cloud first, if that is the easiest way, and locally, because there is open source doesn't mean that only local can run on the cloud. So you can have a sort of company that offer you the cloud AI, or you can have your personal server online where you run your personal model, or you can have your hardware at home and run your local model. So going towards that direction, which is a step, is a process, okay? It's not everything done in one day. But if you move slowly towards that direction, it's like you're building your own bunker, okay? So you create a system that is started to protect you. What is possible to do with this local and open source AI is less than what is possible to do with those super powerful AI from those corporations. But there is also a reality to understand that in a lot of cases, we don't need those extremely powerful AI. Okay, for majority of the things that we do, even with those corporations, for example, majority of things that you do through Google, they don't give you the top tier AI. They give you the small and fast, cheap one. Okay, because in most of cases, it's fine. Okay, and that speed is better for you than waiting a lot of time to have, I don't know, a 5% better answer when the question is really simple. When you're doing, I need a summary, I need a research, you don't need the power. Okay, the small AI are good enough to do these kind of things. Even to do some basic advanced reasoning, they're good enough. So the point here is start to think about, okay, how can I get disconnected by this? Local memory, local model, cloud open source, and then start saving your data instead of on, for example, Google Drive and all those iCloud, okay, all those systems that take the data. Then the moment that they take, you don't own it anymore, even though it's your life, is everything. Start to think about how to have it running on a local server, which sounds like really complicated, but in reality, it's you buy this machine, this is a computer, it's called NAS. You buy this NAS, you put the data inside, you connect to your network, and then you have access from your mobile phone, from your computer, whatever you are. And you can get then an encrypted backup of that NAS on the cloud, by encrypted, so only you can download it and read inside, in the way that if there is a fire in your house, you don't lose everything. Okay, so the whole process, it takes time. But if you understand that this is direction, this is where we are going, so earlier you start, the better you're gonna be. Okay, so if you are a prepper, you already know this. Okay, you already have your physical bunker. You're there getting ready. But if you're not prepper, you need to become one. Okay, at least a digital one, and so build your digital bunker and start to hold on your data. It's even though you might think, okay, I don't have no secrets to hide, okay, which is never true. Okay, we all have secrets to hide. But even though you think I have nothing to hide, it's not about hiding, okay, your secret. It's about allowing the privacy of not just be who you are, but allow your thinking to be yours, okay, and not be used by others to just sell you more products. And I mean, we saw experiment with on Facebook during the election. Okay, not the latest one, but the one before. There was this big scandal. It's even in the UK election that was AI inside those social network was used to manipulate human decision, okay, what they would like to do. So it is about giving you the information at the right time, at the right moment, after a series of other events. So there is, just to give you an example, I can't remember that, but there is a specific structure. Okay, so if you see something that is sad, then something that is, I don't know, sad again, then the third thing, you are really prepared for a bad news, for example. But instead, I give you a sort of good news, but this good news is connected to a politician. So now, because you went through that pattern, now you see that good news as something that you really needed. Okay, and that's something that you really needed come from a specific politician. Now, in your brain, it feels like, this is helping me. That person is helping me. Okay, I'm gonna vote it. I'm gonna vote that thing. And that is the how manipulation is created. Okay, it's not just because you see an ad. It's because you see an ad specifically before something. Okay, so sorry, after something, and then after that one, you're gonna see something else that, in some way create a pattern, a structure that in our brain we get manipulated, and we have no way to understand those things because we are human and we just get data. We don't recognize those patterns, but they're gonna be sending those kind of group of patterns to us constantly. Okay, that is the scrolling. When you scroll, you can see, because why this AI that is so amazing is still showing me things that I don't care. Okay, because that's what's happening. Okay, if you notice, you scroll and say, okay, I don't care about this, I don't care about this, I care about this. So this thing that I care, every now and then, it feels like winning a jackpot. Okay, that is how addiction is created. And then within the pattern of addiction, then I have a pattern of manipulation. That is what's happening on the social network. Okay, this is what I'm gonna get better and better with those AI. So Mithos is good in finding vulnerability inside software. Is it good in finding vulnerability inside human? That is the question that we need to ask. Okay, and if it's not that one, it's gonna be sooner or later another model. That is where we are going. This is the direction. So we need to become sovereign as much as possible, as soon as possible, but without going crazy at the same time. Okay, so don't live in fear, live with a plan. Okay, make a plan, take pen and paper and say, okay, this is the year, this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, be in control of your data is what you need to do this year. So thanks for staying to the end. Remember, we have a community on Discord. Join that one. There is how you call it, a newsletter connected to this kind of deep dive article connected to this video, so you can read more. There is going to be more details, more specific details about this, what I've been saying here. Link in the description. Let me know what's your plan in the comment below. Thanks for staying to the end, and like and subscribe, and watch the next video. Ciao.